Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and I finally saw Ghostbusters Empire in the theater today at 3 p.m. It wasn't 3 p.m. It was actually 3:31, but 30 minutes of trailers. What do you expect? It's fun. It's a fun movie. I think the other one was a better film, but this one is a nice addition to it. And like I said, this one and the last one are still better than the 2016 remake. I can easily say that because compared to that one, that one wasn't funny and it was sexist. There's nothing sexist in this one. This is a sequel here that takes place about 3 years after the last movie, and the film has the same stars from the last movie: Carrie Coon, Paul Rudd, Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, Celeste O'Connor. She's in it a little bit less in this time because she was doing Madam Web, and unfortunately that took a lot of her time. And you have Logan Kim who come back, but he doesn't really do much in this version. This movie, he doesn't do as much as he did in the last film. He followed McKenna Grace like a puppy, but he's not in it that much because they gave more screen time to Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson this time, and Annie Potts. William Anderton comes back, but I'm not going to spoil who he is. He's in it, and you have supporting roles from Kumail Nanjiani and Patton Oswalt. He's only a cameo. Nanjiani's part of the plot, so I'm not going to say anything. It's actually 2 years later, but the film was released 3 years later. After the events of Afterlife, the veteran Ghostbusters must join forces with their new recruits to save the world in New York City from a powerful, death-chilling adversary who seeks to build a spectral army. And that's it. That's the premise. That's all you need to know. You don't need a deep plot for these Ghostbusters movies. Gil Kennan directed this one. He did Monster House. Yeah, I like that movie. That was a fun movie back in 2006, and it got an Oscar nomination for Best Animated Film. So he knows what he's doing. Creepy films, and he also directed City of Ember. That was all right. He directed the Poltergeist remake. I skipped that one. He was a writer on Afterlife. He did A Boy Called Christmas, which I didn't see, and he did this one. So this is like his fifth or sixth film. So he's not a first time filmmaker, and he did a much better job than what they did with Madam Web. At least this movie is complete. And it's fun. I was laughing my head off. The ending is one of the best parts of the film. No, nothing emotional this time. I didn't cry this time because Harold Ramis isn't in this one, so you can definitely feel his absence. But the movie's going to make a lot of money. It only was an hour and 40 some minutes. An hour shorter than Dune, which is great because I needed something shorter. And it's not as overly long as some of the movies from last year, like Dial of Destiny and Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 and The Flash and all these other movies that are over 2 hours that don't need to be over 2 hours. Did this movie need some editing? Yes. There's one character they added in this movie I did not care about, and that was the British dude with the glasses. I'm like, you're just here because Harold Ramis is dead. That's the only reason he's here, because God forbid one franchise can go one freaking year without putting a Binto in a movie. It's old already, guys. I said I don't care about them, and I certainly didn't care about this, whatever his name was. Pinfield, whatever the hell his name was. He's terrible in the movie. He didn't need to be there. And he doesn't even have an arc for his character. He's there, he talks, he gets his hand frozen and broken. I'm not going to say much more. And at the end, he does nothing. So, yeah, he gets kind of written out of the movie. It's a useless character. Mixed reviews. I'm like, so did every movie last year, like the second Shazam and Mario and the freaking, the Blue Beetle movie. Do you really think I care about the critics? This movie costs $100 million, and it looks way better than half of the movies that came out last year. This isn't Fast 9 or Fast X, where it looks like a CGI cartoon for like half the movie, and it's stupid, and it insults my intelligence. This movie didn't go that way. Trust me, it did not. Sony has done way worse. Venom, Venom 2, Morbius, Madam Web. Yeah, they've done way worse than this. Way worse. Who was that British guy? I don't even know who he was. James Acaster. I never even heard of him. I've never heard of him, and I don't care. He's just there because the guy from Logan that was that was bald, that he didn't want to do it. So yeah, I never even heard of this guy. It's awful. He's a comedian and he's not funny. I never laughed with anything he did in the movie. 39 years old. He's the same age as me. That's mental. He's not a good actor. Please stop putting these worthless Bintos in my entertainment. I'm tired of them. I was already tired after Tom Holland. I was like, yeah, I don't need any more Bintos in these franchises. Just stop. This isn't. He's never even done a movie before. Yeah, he's mostly done television shows, TV movies, and podcasts, and his comedy hour. This is like the first feature film he did that was not voice acting. He's awful. He's freaking terrible. You could have cut him out. And when you see the movie, Josh, I will tell you that British guy needs to go. He has no bearings on the movie. He doesn't do anything interesting. He's useless. Everybody else that came back: Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts, and Emily Allen, who's she's the new character in the movie. She's Melody. I'm not going to say what she is. I don't want to spoil too much. This is just going to be spoiler free as I can. And she was good. She's an adult as well. She's not a little girl anymore. She's an adult. So Josh, if you've seen this, she's not a kid. She's an adult now. She's in her 20s now, I believe, or close to 20. She's not a kid anymore. She's about 21 or 22. She's the same age as Iman. So there we go. Anyway, yeah, she did good in the film. I liked her demeanor, and again, she's actually in it. Yeah, it was released alongside Immaculate, which I don't even know what that is. And so far, it slightly topped the first movie by a couple of million. That's only because it's not the pandemic anymore. People are going to the theater. A crowded cast and a surprisingly serious tone prevent this sequel from truly sparking. It has a serious tone because when people die in this movie, when the ghosts show up and freeze everything, it's not funny, guys. It's not. It's not supposed to be funny. Not all of it needs to be funny. That's like with Marvel, they were like, Quantumania is supposed to be the serious villain, and then the rest of the movie's a cartoon. I enjoy the movie, but I think it has too much comedy in it. You don't have to make everything a joke. They didn't do that here. When the crap hits the fan, bad things happen. And yes, the ghost at the end looks terrifying. It's not a kid's movie. This is a PG-13 movie. It lives up to that, just like the last movie. I still think the last movie was better because I was more emotionally invested. You introduced the characters and it was in a different location. I like being in New York because I'm a sucker for movies from New York. I saw the first movie in the theater back in 2011. The second movie I still haven't seen in the theater, but when they re-release it, I'll go see it. I've been on a Ghostbusters kick since this movie was announced, and I had fun in the theater. Yes, the nostalgia fuels the movie, but everything has nostalgia, guys. Godzilla, Mario, Barbie, freaking Star Wars, Star Trek, Indiana Jones. Everything has nostalgia. Everything. Every franchise will have something nostalgic because that's what sells. Original movies like Creator don't sell. Things like this sell because they know the audience they're catering to. They're not catering to the MCU fan base or the DCU, which is dead now, or the Star Wars fans or the fans of the Sony Marvel films. No, this isn't Spider-Verse. It's just a freaking sequel to a good movie, and I think it's well done. It's fun. It's energetic. It has a great cast, except for the British guy, because again, he serves no purpose. And at under 2 hours, it was way better than sitting through an overlong movie like last year. A lot of the films last year were too long. This wasn't. It was nice and not 90 minutes, but an hour and 49. It went by quick. It went a lot quicker than the 2 hours and 40 minutes I sat there with Dune. Love Dune, but it should have been shorter. It did not need to be that long. And the cast does their damnedest to make this work. I like the chemistry. I like the characters that came back. I like some of the new additions. Like I said, Emily as Melody, she did well. Patton Oswalt was fine. Kumail Nanjiani made me laugh a couple of times. British dude, get out of here. You're not a good actor, okay? They have to pander to people from Asian people because you have the Asian kid from the last film, and you got somebody British for the European crowd, and then you got the nostalgia for the fans. And they did a nice tribute to Ivan Reitman. Thank you. Rest in peace. I miss you, Ivan Reitman. Didn't cry because I didn't expect that, but I was like, he died in 2022. They have to acknowledge his death. And I'm glad that they did this for him and for his son, Jason, who worked on the script and produced the movie. And it's a fun movie. Go in with your mind, with an open mind. Don't feed into the BS of the critics. They want to crap on everything. They want everything to be deep and original and something we've never seen before. We have seen it all, guys. It's the execution, not the freaking, that is too familiar. Every horror movie looks the same now. But when it's done well, people, they go to it like they did with Megan last year. Or the last Scream movie. Yeah, they were successful not because just nostalgia, because they actually hit a chord with people. Mario made over $1 billion because people recognized what was on screen, not because it was a deep plot like Spider-Verse where everything is serious and you got to take this like this is Shakespeare. It's not Shakespeare. It's just a cartoon over 2 hours long for people that like Spider-Man and for people that like things thrown in their face. This doesn't have that. It starts with a flashback. I'm not going to say anything else. And the Frozen, the effects, really top notch. It won't get an Oscar, but I like the effects. It's a lot of CG, but it's not too much of it. This isn't the neon colored ghost from the 2016 movie. I know for a fact. Because I saw the trailer and it looked terrible. This movie's fun. Go see it in the theater. Stream it when it comes out on Netflix or Max or whatever. It's not going to be on Paramount Plus. It's not Paramount. And do this for Ivan. They did this movie for Ivan in his memory, and Harold Ramis, even though they don't mention him as much this time. But yeah, it's there. And it's going to be in my top 10 of the year. Just because I had fun in the theater. And I had to go through some ordeal. But I'm not going to say it here. But I like the movie. It's fun and it's worth your time. And it's not overly long. There's comedies that are way longer than this. Trust me. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Acknowledge me. See this film. It's worth your time. It's going to make its budget back. It's not going to bomb like Madam Web. There's a way better movie than that. I assure you. I take my hat off to that. So thank you, Gil Kenneman. You did a good job. And Jason Reitman. And thank you for acknowledging the late Ivan Reitman. He will be proud. Thanks a lot. See ya.